Victory belongs to those who persevere. You don't have to be the most talented or the smartest. You just have to be the ones who consistently and daily put in the work. And that's what this video is about. I recently lost about 40 pounds in 5 months postpartum since giving birth to my second son at home. It actually wasn't my goal to set out and do this. I just wanted to be the most healthy version of myself. And having 2 kids to run around with and chase after, I made the goal to try and become a Harlem Globetrotter. Parenthood is oftentimes about doing things for your inner child. And while I'm outside at the park playing with my kids, I thought, what if I brought a basketball with me everywhere I go? And when I mean everywhere, I mean to the lake, on runs, to park days, to the pool, pretty much anywhere. There's always a basketball nearby. Secondly, I really took seriously the food that I put in my body and consumed postpartum. It was all about fresh foods that I can make easily and quickly and from scratch. And for me, baking bread is almost this meditative process that really lets me enjoy and focus and be present on the food that is in my own home. Growing up, I didn't really have a goal of what I wanted to be, but I knew who I wanted to be. And that one was someone who was able to be present with their kids during their childhood. I saw this modeled in my own home as my mom took in foreign exchange students in order to make extra cash so she could raise us and be home during the recession in 2008. I thought this was really resourceful, and I really took this to heart when I decided to raise my own children. Now, these videos are a journal for me of sorts, but they are a way to also fulfill a lifelong childhood dream that I once had. See, I always wanted to become a professional basketball player. Now, I didn't know what this would look like, but at the time, all I saw was the WNBA, and those women were my heroes. They literally got to play their favorite game that they enjoyed from their youth and make money and make a living and play overseas and play in the summer WNBA season. And I thought that was what I wanted to do. I had my sights set on that. But of course, life happens and sometimes you get burnt out from the sport. And as I grew older, I realized what I really enjoyed most about the game was the interactive and playful elements that I could do and work on. Individual plays and freestyle basketball has always been something exciting to me, but something that I never really pursued because I was so locked in and focused on the fact that it had to be this 5-man style of play where you were all on the same team, you rode for one another, and that was the way it was. But often that times led to injuries and there were hardships, and I realized let's try and get back to what it was really all about, which was, as a child, I just loved playing on the blacktop with my friends, shooting hoops and coming up with trick shots and different ways to score. I also enjoyed juggling and dribbling and learning how to ride a unicycle. So I feel like this is a perfect way to incorporate all my talents and include my children in it. Being at the park and playing with them has been one of the greatest joys in the last 5 months, watching them grow up together. Being outside in the fresh air and seeing the blue skies is so good for my mental health along with my kids. Breastfeeding my son has definitely contributed to helping me lose weight. And to be honest, this video isn't necessarily even about weight loss. It's about finding things that bring you joy and you can healthfully and joyfully incorporate into your everyday life, because that's what I've been able to do. My goal wasn't an amount of pounds to lose or inches to shed. It was about finding ways to bring out my inner child and make a goal for myself and see if I stuck with it for days at a time, how much better could I become? And so that's what this goal of learning and practicing to become a Harlem Globetrotter is all about. I've literally seen myself improve tenfold in these skills each and every day. Now, I can't say I have a super strict, rigid routine about it, but I try to take the ball with me everywhere I go. And I'd say I get about 30 minutes to an hour and a half of quality ball skills and drills in per day. And that's when I'm at the park with my kids. Now, I also try to put in some time either in the morning before the kids are awake or sometimes after they go to bed and work on an individualized skill. The nice thing about these kind of practice play is that you're not limited to having to go to a basketball court or waiting for another player to get you to be able to do 1-versus-1 with them. You can literally just go into your kitchen, whip out the ball, and try to practice spinning the basketball on your left hand. It doesn't have a lot of bouncing or loud volume required, so the kids and the rest of the house is able to quietly sleep. Sometimes I feel guilty watching a show or indulging in a book or doing things that I feel like I could be cleaning, I could be organizing, I could be doing a million other things. But being able to spend this time and work on these skills by myself, I'm able to pop in a podcast, listen to an audiobook, or even put in a movie and practice my skills while I multitask. And that's been such a great help to myself. Sometimes I feel like when I'm able to habit stack or do 2 things at once, I'm able to be more efficient and have the most fun in this way. I've been able to juggle 3 small balls for the last maybe 10 to 15 years, but I have added into my repertoire juggling 3 basketballs at the same time. Now, there's a trick that I've been working on, and it is juggling 3 balls regularly, but adding a crossbody spin to it. I've also been working on my left hand. I know my high school coach would be really happy to hear this, but I feel like it's been a while since I've worked on it. And yes, I am rusty, but I feel like taking that long break from playing high school varsity basketball to being able to work on it now, you just come in with a fresh perspective, and you feel like this is something that you get to do. I feel like your perspective changes once you're a mom. You have lower expectations for things, and I feel like you can see that this is a privilege that you get to do, not something that you're forced to do, which is kind of the high school or maybe more of like a teenage mindset that I had once had, because it was often at times, I have to do this, I have to go here, this is what my coach expects, my parents expect, things like that. But this is something that I really want to do, and it's been really fun channeling that passion for the game that I once had into this. Now, it is small, and these are small changes, and anybody that was walking by me at the park would not have known that I was on this mission, but it's something that I can look back on with these videos and see the progress that I have made. Last night I was watching Surviving Barstool, probably one of the greatest YouTube shows out right now. I have just been such a fan of Survivor for, 10, 15 years, since I was probably in elementary school, and having them duke it out and try to win $250,000 in their office has been such a joy. And I was able to practice my left hand fingerball spinning for maybe 2.5 hours while the kids were sleeping. The house was quiet, and I wasn't having to dribble the basketball and wake up the whole house. But this is just something that I could do for myself and enjoy and wind down after a long day with the kids. And my husband, he is still away working, so it's really just me living the single mom life for the next 12 weeks until he's able to come home and be more present with the kids. So I do really appreciate having these goals that keep me going throughout the week. Sometimes I look back at this footage and realize it should be more polished, I should be better, I should be making better progress. But then I look at the progress that I have made just as a mom with 2 kids who are 2 years and under, and I realize I've been able to healthfully and happily lose the baby weight. I've been able to get outside. I have a strong sense of self and a strong mental state because of going to the park and having this goal for myself. I'm not where I should be, but I think a year from now with these videos, I will be able to see the progress that I've made, specifically with my left hand. That has always caused me trouble, and though I was a point guard in high school, I definitely had a more cheater style and favored my right hand. So I kind of want to see how I can really increase my left hand's potential, because I feel like I never really realized my full potential as a basketball player. But on the other hand, I have to realize I am one of the lucky ones, because I never tore an ACL, never broke an ankle, never broke any major bones, because I know the sad thing about high school sports is that there is such a competitive and serious element to them that oftentimes many high schoolers get these injuries and they become lifelong injuries that they have to sustain and deal with the ramifications for the rest of their life. And I think I did it right by just playing for the joy of it and for the fun of it. And there were times when I burnt out, and so that's why I walked away. And I think this ability to come back in this way, in a more fun, performative, almost taking it like a individualized sport of trying to reach this goal and get on this team as a Harlem Globetrotter,